The newest hire at Goldman Sachs isn't human. The bank is testing an autonomous software engineer named Devin from AI startup Cognition. AI is a startup company that began about 2 years ago. The first product they had was Devin, and now the company's valued at $4 billion. That's not a bad 2 years worth of work. Goldman's tech chief, Marco Argenti, told CNBC, "We're going to start augmenting our workforce with Devin, which is going to be like our new employee who's going to start doing stuff on the behalf of our developers. Initially, we'll have hundreds of Devins, and that might go into the thousands." Goldman Sachs employs 12,000 human software developers, engineers. If hundreds of Devins expand to thousands, that's 10 to 20% reduction in their developer workforce, all while claiming this technology will augment rather than replace workers. Are you getting sick of that yet? The banking industry is very vulnerable when you think about it. Bloomberg's research arm predicts 200,000 banking jobs will be eliminated in the next 3 to 5 years as AI systems like Devin are deployed. 200,000 jobs gone. That's not really augmentation. That's elimination on an industrial scale. Welcome, BS Truth Seekers. I hope you like that. I like that. I thought that was kind of cool. Please hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. If you have hit the subscribe button, don't do it again. That will unsubscribe you. I almost said unsubscribe you. It'll do something. It'll hurt. It shocks you. It gives you a shock if you try to unsubscribe. I would appreciate it. Appreciate all your comments in the comments section. We use some of them from time to time on these episodes. So anyway, got rid of my old teleprompter, so I'm going to read stuff. I was reading it anyway on the teleprompter, so hated that thing. I couldn't see my camera. I didn't know where the lens was. It's too dark. The ink is barely dried on Goldman Sachs' deal with Cognition when the startup behind Devin made another massive power move. Just days after Google paid $2.4 billion to poach Windsurf CEO and co-founders in a reverse acquisition hire, Cognition swooped in to acquire the entire remaining Windsurf company. I know that's confusing, but OpenAI wanted to buy Windsurf for $3 billion. Something happened. They drug their heels. Google came in and said, "We'll give you $2.4 billion just for your co-founders." And so that left 250-person team sitting there. So Cognition, the developers of Devin, came in and bought the rest of Windsurf for an undisclosed amount. All right, so hope that was clear as mud. And remember, just a couple weeks ago, it was Meta who came in and bought Scale AI for $14.3 billion, and that just gave them a 49% stake in the company. What they really wanted was the co-founder, Alexander Wang. He's now leading some department at Meta that has to do with AI. So you might wonder why these companies are throwing billions of dollars at AI coding startups. That's what Windsurf is. It's a coding assistant, and by code I mean like Python or JSON. I call it JSON. Just I don't know. But JSON and others, and what it does is it helps people that don't know how to code. They call it vibe coding. Don't know why they call it that, but just you can tell it what you want and it will help you build it. I'm doing that now on a project, still working on that one project I talked about several episodes ago. Still working out bugs and everything, but they're I have no idea what I'm doing. That's why I have so many bugs. And it's funny, the AI that you're working with will get lazy and just go, we've worked on this long enough. Let's go on to something else. We'll put a flag here. We'll stick a flag here and come back to it. You got to say, no, let's get this working now. And they'll say, oh, you're right. But the companies that are throwing billions of dollars at these coding companies, they know that whoever controls the future of code, of writing code, will control the entire industry, the whole AI industry. It's a race to build the systems that will eventually replace most human programmers. And the numbers tell the story. Like I've mentioned Cursor, they're another AI-powered coding tool. They've reached $500 million in annualized recurring revenue, ARR. Windsurf had achieved $82 million in ARR, with enterprise revenue doubling every single quarter. And these are companies building tools explicitly designed to automate away programming jobs. Most revealing is a statement from Cursor's CEO Michael Truell, who recently said he believes 20% of coding workflows will be handled by AI agents by 2026. Not assisted by AI, handled completely by AI agents like Devin. You know, you keep hearing me talking about AI agents in episodes, and AI agents are just basically little LLMs, little ChatGPTs. It's kind of not true, but in a way. But they have the ability to also use tools. So you can tell it, for example, book me a trip to, I don't know, wherever you want to go, Costa Rica. And an AI agent can either do that itself or it can go out to other AI agents that specialize in that and say, hey, I need you to book me a trip for the guy that's my owner, and give me the ticket detail and the flights and all that. Gets that agent gets that, and then reports back to you, and can, with your permission, even buy the tickets, have everything set up for you like your own personal travel agent. And that's just one example of what AI agents can do. They can read your email, reply to your email, reply to, they can pretty much do anything. They can go out and shop for you, for groceries, for clothing. It just depends on what you tell it. Now, we're in the beginning stages of AI agents, so they're not that useful yet. There we go, yet. Everything in AI is yet. But, they will be. They're coming. The white-collar automation revolution, it's not theoretical. It's multi-billion-dollar industry growing at breakneck speed, with Goldman Sachs, Google, and OpenAI all fighting to be the ones who control the technology that replaces us human-type workers. The most dystopian part, the same executives rushing to build these replacement systems are the ones telling us workers not to worry, that the AI will simply augment our roles instead of replacing us. And while executives talk about AI augmenting workers, their HR departments are busy funding workers who won't resist being replaced. According to Fortune magazine, about 80% of Fortune 500 companies now use personality tests, with more than 80 million Americans completing an employment-related quiz every year. So, you're used to seeing those signs, personality test inside here. I'm not going to talk anymore about it. But this is different. And now for something totally different. Companies like Olive Garden, FedEx, and most major tech firms now favor these tests over traditional resume and cover letters. Why? Because they're screening for something they don't want to admit: psychological compliance with technological displacement. One example from these tests asked job seekers how they'd feel about grabbing pizza before others got a chance. Candidates thought that was kind of a bizarre question, but if they knew why that was being asked, they're testing for willingness to compete aggressively for diminishing resources in an AI-dominated workplace. They're saying we need workers who will both, one, accept technological displacement without complaint. I didn't get a slice of pizza. I don't have a job anymore. And two, those who will compete rather than cooperate as resources shrink, and who will embrace augmentation even as their colleagues disappear around them. Too bad for you. I still have a job. The most revealing contradiction in this white-collar automation narrative is the debate over which workers face the greatest risk, entry-level or experienced professionals. Anthropic CEO Dario Amati, and we've used this a lot, but he is the Anthropic CEO. Anthropic is the one who produces Claude, which is like ChatGPT and Gemini and Grok. and Meta. Sorry, Mr. Zuckerberg. But he says AI could cannibalize half of all entry-level white-collar roles within 5 years. He told Axios that AI companies and the government are sugarcoating the risks of mass job elimination in fields including technology, finance, law, and consulting. This narrative suggests the junior workers are most vulnerable because their tasks are more easily automated. Data appears to support this. Employment for workers with fewer than 2 years of tenure in computer-related fields has declined by 20 to 25% since just 2023. But wait, there's more. OpenAI's chief operating officer, Brad Lightcap, Buzz Lightyear, offers a completely different perspective. He says AI actually threatens a class of worker that is more tenured, more oriented toward a routine and a certain way of doing things. Major tech firms seem to agree. Microsoft's recent layoffs focused heavily on middle managers and experienced software developers. Google and Meta have followed similar patterns. According to Gil Luria, an equity analyst, there are senior people who have figured out how to get leverage out of AI and senior people who are insistent that AI can't write code. Guess which group is being shown the door? Harper Reed, CEO of 2389 Research, puts it bluntly. How you decrease cost is not by firing the cheapest employees you have. You take the cheapest employee and make them worth the expensive employee while paying them at the cheapest employee rate. That's nothing new. We've seen that going on since the beginning of time, since somebody traded a bone for a rock. Now, remember what our good friend and fellow commenter Matthew Clear taught us, one of our viewers of this show who pops in every once in a while in the comments section. He says there's a difference between automation and AI. This is a very basic way to put it, and this is me talking, not him. He's a lot smarter than me, and I'm not being facetious. Yeah, I think that's right. But more than likely, the people with the easiest jobs to automate are going to be the people who lose their jobs first, And while AI, which is just barely good enough at this point, is coming for the senior level jobs. So, there's a difference between automation and AI, as Matthew Clear taught us. And you might be saying, well, Uncle Rod, haven't you been the one saying that AI isn't good enough to replace us yet? Yes. But remember, it only has to be good enough. We're currently in a transitional phase in a process that ends with near complete automation of knowledge work. I never said it was going to stop completely. I'm just saying that we're not moving as quickly as the tech brethren would have us to believe. Basically, they want us to believe that everything's pumping along just fine so they can get more money to build their systems, their big data centers, so that they can perhaps discover the threshold of AGI or ASI. They don't want to pay for it themselves. They can't afford to, really. I mean, they're spending billions of dollars already just on the data centers. So they need help from investors that will drive up the stock prices on their systems, even though they don't work yet. That's why I haven't jumped in. Well, that and the fact that anything I invest in, pardon me, anything I invest in goes straight to zero in a matter of seconds. I'll just tell you, I bought a house in Cape Coral as a vacation place. Guess what the worst market for sales right now? If I wanted to sell my house, which I did want to sell it, and I have, but I had to get creative on the financing part. The worst market in the entire country is Cape Coral, where I bought my house. Of course. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Every stock I've bought, every breath you take, I'll be watching you. I'll be losing money. It's incredible. Anything that I get in eventually explodes and dies. So I'm doing you a favor by not investing. If you ever see that Rod Miller invests in NVIDIA, I guarantee you within 2 weeks that the company will just blow up. There'll be nothing left of it. It'll be gone. The AI will disappear. It won't exist anymore. My dad taught me that. He said, buy high and sell low, son. That's how I got along in the world. He's right. Hey, I'm blessed. I can't, complain. My family, we're also blessed. So I'm just kidding. I mean, it's funny, and some I'm not kidding, but, thank you for your blessings. Where was I? Okay. We're in this transitional phase right now. Okay. Companies start with the most repetitive tasks and then expand to more complex one as the technology improves. They move from automation to real AI, all while maintaining the fiction that they're augmenting rather than replacing human workers. Remember the movie Hidden Figures? I bring it up all the time. The people that were actually called computers, they were people. And it's a true story. It's about the moon landing. It's about how NASA got them there. Anyway, a great movie. I don't want to give too much away, but that's when the computer came along, the computer that filled the entire room, and they had to make the doorway bigger just to get it through the door. But and the computers thought they were going to lose their jobs. So watch the movie, unless you know what happened. You may have been alive when it happened. I guess I was alive when part of it happened. Robert Plotkin, a partner at a law firm, admits his firm now uses about half as many contract lawyers as before the advent of generative AI. As he puts it, I've become very efficient at using AI as a tool to help me draft applications in a way that's reduced our need for contract lawyers. Translation? I'm using AI and I ask it these questions about these contracts and it gave me everything I need. I don't have to pay a lawyer for it. As long as you trust AI is giving you the right answer. They can hallucinate. Just like I said, when I'm building this program, I'm working on this system. AI sometimes will just say, I'm tired of this. Let's just move on. And you've got to say, no, we're not going to move on. And no, we're not going to stick a flag there. We're going to actually finish it. But anyway, the true hybrid workforce model, a few human supervisors using AI to eliminate the jobs of many colleagues, all while claiming they're simply augmenting their productivity. Watch out for those words. And it's going from just business into teaching into our schools. The American Federation of Teachers is launching a $23, it's $23 million National Academy for AI Instruction in New York this fall with funding from Microsoft, OpenAI, and Anthropic. Wonder why they would fund that. The center will train educators on using AI tools like Copilot and Conmigo for lesson planning, communication, and classroom tasks. The program reflects a broader industry push to normalize AI in public education, turning tech tools into teaching staples and students into digital natives raised on automated systems. Let's go ahead and indoctrinate them really quickly. But critics warn this initiative serves corporate interests more than educational ones. By training teachers to rely on AI for lesson planning, grading, and communication, the program is essentially automating the core teaching functions while creating lifelong customs and customers for AI products. The kids become used to it. They're going to want to use all the AI products, just like they can't live without their smartphones. And I'm not blaming the kids for that. Smartphones are smart and they're useful. I use mine every day. Don't text and drive. In the past, technology has always created more jobs than it eliminated over the long term. But there's a crucial distinction this time. Previous technological revolutions created new industries requiring human labor in the past. This AI revolution aims to create systems that can perform any intellectual task without human involvement whatsoever. So as we know, that's the difference between the two. Even Jensen Huang of NVIDIA admits that AI expertise is rapidly moving beyond human control. When asked which AI tools he uses, he said, I use them all, just like I always say. I use Gemini, Grok, Claude, ChatGPT, Copilot. I always forget Copilot. Sorry, Microsoft. Jensen said, I use them all. I put the same question to all of them and see what I get. All of these tools get better very quickly, and there's no question this technology is going to be quite extraordinary. I mean, yeah, of course he would say that. He's the CEO of the largest company right now, I think. I think they passed Apple, right? We talked about that last week, and trillions of dollars in valuation. So the question isn't whether AI will change work. It's whether humans will maintain meaningful economic roles in an increasingly automated world. The digital extinction is moving from blue-collar factories to white-collar office buildings, and no amount of augmentation rhetoric can hide the fundamental reality. Companies are using AI to reduce their reliance on human workers, us human types. The first step towards addressing this transformation isn't personality tests or AI prompt engineer courses. It's honest acknowledgement of what's happening and who benefits from it. I'll see you next time, you BS truth seekers, while there's humans around left to talk to. Until then, have a good week.